Here we are with activity 1.4 in life management skills. And this activity is called Building Strong Communities. I am exploring the activity today on a video so that you guys can take a look at it with me. The first thing you notice that there is an announcement. It says important 1.4 assignment change. This explains that by the end of the assignment, you will be responsible for two parts, part A and part B. Now let's talk about part A. Part of this assignment is to write a letter to somebody in your local government or your local legislature that includes information about a community issue of your choice and at least two possible solutions to improve that issue. You will submit this assignment normally as an assignment under the Assignments and Assessment folder, which is over here. So do you see Assignments and Assessment folder? And 1.4, the corresponding area for 1.4, Building Strong Communities. Now part B, once you have decided on the issue and the possible solutions, you will post your issue and solutions on the discussion board. Now you can post a summary, which is at least one paragraph long, written in complete sentences that explains that issue and the solutions. Now some students are choosing to post the letter. The letter includes a summary within it because that's how you explain the issue and the solutions to the person you're writing the letter to the local legislature. But if you wanted to just write a paragraph separately from the letter and post that, that would be fine too. I will give you credit for both of those options. So part A, you are submitting a letter to Building Strong Communities, which is where I will find your letter and grade it. And part B, you are submitting either that same letter or a summary to the discussion board. I should probably mention where the discussion board here is. Do you see here it says discussions? Assignment 1.4, Building Strong Communities. Now, many of your classmates have already done this, so you can see examples of what they did. So here is an example. Letter 2, Aitana Hernando, Mayor of Miranda de Ebro. Notice that this student actually wrote the letter to the mayor of his town. So this is very exciting because you get to do this too. He wrote about a specific issue, the pollution level in the river Ebro. He gave some possible solutions to improve it. And then he gave the information where he gave the source where he got information about the issue and some of the solutions that were possible. Now we saw the example. This is the actual letter he wrote. This student, Ricardo, submitted his letter here and he also posted it here. So he did part A and part B. I won't show you what he did in part A because that is confidential, but it's the same letter which he chose to share with the rest of you. Some of you have already logged into the discussion and have already seen what he wrote, which is why I'm sharing it with you now. What students are also doing is responding to the post. So notice there are 3 replies. So Arturo Orea Sanchez wrote, "Hi Ricardo, I also have read reports about the pollution in the river Ebro." And then he gave some more details. Rocio Pascal Diaz did the same thing. "I also think this is a terrible problem that is in many countries and cities." So she gave some more ideas about the issue related to him. Another answer to Ricardo. So Ricardo's post was very popular, as you can see. Hopefully your post will also be popular. To reply to a student's post, you simply have to find the original letter or the original summary of the issue. You shouldn't be replying to a reply. You will reply to the original, and you'll notice that it'll be flush against the left margin and the replies are indented just a little bit more. So these are originals and these are replies. And you'll also see that others have replied. To reply, you click reply. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and write reply. And even though it appears under Mireia Mototo Verdu's reply, it's still a response to his letter. Okay, so I'm going to write effective letter. I think you communicate very clearly. Okay, so I'm going to press enter. Oh, that is just my, that is just the title, sorry. So I will go ahead and copy this. And I could also attach a file if I wanted to by clicking here, but that is not going to be necessary. When I'm done writing, I can post. All right, so now let's go ahead and look at the assignment. So far, all we looked at was the announcement that gave some important instructions, and we looked at where to turn in part A and part B and how to reply to another student's post. Next, we're going to look at the resource for actually completing our lesson. Here is where we learn about the topic, where we gain the skills that we need to be able to do the assignment, where we choose a health issue affecting the community, and we write a letter, and we post, and we reply. So let's go ahead and look at that lesson. 1.4, Building Strong Communities, right here. All right, so here we get the lesson, and it tells us that students will justify the validity of a variety of technologies to gather health information. Students will work cooperatively as an advocate for improving personal, family, and community health. Now, what does this mean? It means that you will consider how healthy is your community. The health of your community depends on several factors. Now you can roll over each one of these to learn more. Notice when I put my mouse over one of these items, I have more information over here. So these are all different items that affect the health of your community. How many people are able to have access to healthcare? How responsible are the citizens toward caring for their environment? What are community and family values that are popular in your community? What are the cultural beliefs? And what's the education level about, specifically people's education about their health and about the way that their behaviors affect the health of others? So these are all very serious topics that are very present in your everyday life. This is one thing that I love about this activity. It really allows you to understand how you play a role in your community and how your community affects your personal health at the same time. So here, this gives some more information. You will watch this video. I'm not going to go into every detail because I'd like you to learn while you complete the lesson. So you will select play. Then you can also click here to see a text version. Those of you who are learning English, and all of us are learning English, but those of us who feel that when someone is speaking, kind of like I am doing right now, there are some words you don't understand or you wish people would just slow down and speak a little slower. It's a great option for you to click here, text version. If you can read it, sometimes it's easier to understand than if you're just listening to the information. So I recommend that all of you click on the text version as well as watch the video. And once you are done reading, you could take a screenshot, you could print it out, you could take notes if you wanted to. But I recommend at the very least that you read it carefully. So these are all factors that affect the health of a community. And these are all the influences that they have. So let's go back, and we're back in the lesson. Okay, after we view the text version and watch the video, we are done. with this page. Now, everybody needs to make sure that they click on the activity, which is the next tab. All right, so here it talks about how you can build strong communities. You have the power to make your community healthier. This is where you start to think about what you will put in your letter that you will submit here and post here. Think about a health need in your community. If you were Ricardo, you would have thought of the pollution in the river Ebro. You might think of something very different. Possible community issues may include community self-esteem, community morals, proper drainage, and the list goes on. Use reliable health sources to find at least 2 possible solutions to one of your community health issues. Select the interactive feature, I think it's supposed to say, below to distinguish reliable health information sources. Okay, so what does the module mean by use reliable health sources or use reliable health information sources? If you click play over here, it's going to give you an idea about how you get information that is reliable, which means information that you can trust is true. When you do research, especially about something related to science, you want to make sure that you're getting the facts and that your information is reliable, that you can trust it, that you know other doctors and other scientists will also agree with. So this video will help you understand how to find reliable sources from sources that maybe aren't based in fact. So it's going to be important for you to watch this. And again, you have a text version that you can watch. So these are places where you could get information that's credible. Credible is a word related to the word cred, which is the Latin root word for belief. School nurse, the U.S. Government Center for Disease Control and Prevention, a doctor's office, local health department, and the list continues. These are places you can go to get real, true information about community health. So these are some of the places you could go to get information for your project, which is to look for possible solutions for the health issue that you chose. Again, one of the health issues that you chose from this list that might be affecting your community. So when you're done with that, you're going to go to a work file. The work file is going to help you organize your thoughts, and the sample letter is going to help you have a structure to follow to write your letter to the local government or local legislator. And then of course, cite sources to learn how to properly include your source information. So let's go ahead and look at the work file. I am downloading the work file, opening it up. All right, so I'm going to enable editing. Here is the work file. It's very easy, it's very simple. It just focuses you so that you know exactly what you have to write about. And it says, using the information you have gathered regarding your community health issue, and you should have gathered that information through one of these reliable sources that we were talking about. Write a letter to your local legislature. You may use an example provided on the activity page to write about, or select another health need in your community. Include at least 2 possible solutions and state your resources. So again, resources is where you got your information. Now I am grabbing that sample letter and I am going to copy it. I am going to paste it in my work file. And then I am going to modify this sample letter to reflect the community health issue that I am talking about. I am going to change the person who's writing it, the person I'm sending it to, their address. I'm going to read this very carefully and change it to fit my community health issue that I'm talking about. Then I am going to copy it again once it's ready. I am going to submit it here in the assignments and assessments folder. And I am also going to post in the discussion.